Hello, it's me, Goose. And so remember last week that Wish video? Thanks for everyone who's watched and send your likes and stuff like that. I've been really busy, so I haven't read the comics. This time I have an excuse. I did not read the comics because I was busy. But I said we're going to be back to do a Sony rant video, and we're still planning on doing a Sony rant video. But we made an impulsive decision to go see Godzilla Minus One at the watching the review done by Jeremy Johns. And we're a big fan of Jeremy Johns, and so when he gave it an awesome tacular, and we was like, okay, we're gonna have to go see this movie. So I am once again joined up here with my big bro Cabbage.
Hello, it's me. I'm gonna apologize because you're gonna probably hear my cat beef meow on and off during this recording. So yeah, we saw it. I loved it. I'm gonna say some things that are probably gonna make people mad, but I
You
really
don't
don't
care.
care. It needs to be said because yeah,
Yeah,
this
this is
movie is cinema.
yeah,
It's peak
absolutely.
cinema.
It's definitely cinema. Don't worry, it's not going to be a long video. It's not going to be a long teardown or anything else like that. This is going to be us, instead of ranting, we're going to be raving about this movie. Also, if you can tell, we got new mics. So there should be a little less audio distortion coming from the audio. So thanks for your patience for that. But we're gonna give a little bit of backstory, not about the movie. Let's first give our backstory, and then we'll talk about the movie. We are aware of Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah.
We are kids who have seen the old monster movies of the 90s and the 80s. He's a pop culture phenomenon, both around the world, especially in his hometown, Japan, and definitely here in the States. We've seen the really terrible Hanna-Barbera cartoon of Godzilla and Godzuki. It was terrible, but we've seen it, and of course we have watched the 2000s Godzilla with the classic Puff Daddy "Come With Me" song
And
as
Matthew
well.
Broderick. Don't forget Matthew Broderick.
Oh
He
wait,
was in
and
it.
Matthew Broderick, yes, and Jean Reno.
Yep,
Jean
John
Reno
Reno.
was in it.
Yep.
And we also had the biggest hit from the Wallflowers. We can
Oh
be
yeah,
heroes. The heroes one.
yeah. That was a good song.
That's a great song. It's a great
Yeah,
song.
that was a good
It wasn't a great movie, but that was a
song.
great song.
No,
It was a great song with it. And we had also watched both the 2014 Gareth Edwards Godzilla, and we've watched I think it was a Godzilla versus Kong that
no.
came out I think back in 2021, 2022. But we're not super duper uber cool fans of it. We appreciate it. We know the history about it, but we're not like uber fans of Godzilla. We're about as filthy casual about it as much as possible. We are aware of Godzilla and its importance, both as a cultural icon and as a political icon.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, he is a political icon as well. But I want to pass over to Cabbage here, and I want him to give him his advice, his spicy takes about the wonderful movie Godzilla Minus One. Cabbage.
Yeah, this is one of those rare instances where it was a pleasant
Mm-hmm.
surprise. Like Jeno said, under the recommendation from the great Jeremy Johns, and the energy he provided in that review, we haven't seen that from him all year, and
No.
we knew that was something special. So off the cuff, we just said, fuck it, let's check it out. And I am very, very thankful that we did. This movie by far is probably, yes, it's definitively the best movie of the year.
Absolutely.
Um, when you think about monster movies, a lot of times, especially nowadays, the emphasis is on the humans, and that usually is a great detractor for a lot of people because the star of the show is the monster. The star of the show is Godzilla, and oftentimes, the humans are written in the story as just talking wallpaper. You don't really care about them, but they're there to get destroyed or whatever. They're just there.
They're fodder.
Uh, they're just fodder. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. This movie did a great job. I don't want to try to spoil a lot,
No,
but
I don't want to spoil anything about this movie.
yeah, I'll just say that it's under the backdrop of World War II, essentially after World War II, and Japan coming to grips of where they fall in the world now that the atom bomb has been created. And you get a cast of people who are just reeling with like the aftermath, and they show it without getting too graphic, which I really like, which I thought I would be detracted from. Like, this, I'm not seeing blood, I'm not seeing body parts flying everywhere. Atom bomb just went off. Where's all that stuff? But no, it was done tastefully, and you could tell, you could identify with like the horror of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to pass off the Genesis in a bit, but like Oppenheimer kind of built up its movie of this is a great man who is you know providing the fire for mankind in the form of the atom bomb. He's giving that power to humanity, and he's trying to wrestle with all the demons, and him being whether he feels he's smart enough, whether what he's doing is great for humanity. We got that nice backstory in that movie, but I felt engaged up to a point because the music was so loud, or Cillian Murphy, he's just magnetic. Like he gives a performances all in his face, it's all in his eyes, and he's surrounded by great actors. But I was often finding myself looking at the watch, and then once I would look at the watch, I knew, oh, here's a big swell of music, or here's a loud noise to keep me back into it. So it was more like distracting to keep you attracted to the movie. Whereas in Godzilla Minus Zero, I was immediately hooked into the characters. And I was never more terrified. In all the times I've seen a Godzilla movie, I was never more terrified than when I saw Godzilla in this movie. And I'm going to pass off to Genos to give her takes on it. But I think they did. This Godzilla is horrifying.
Yeah.
He's not done as a joke. He doesn't give a fuck. He eats, he sleeps, he fucks, he destroys, and there's nothing you can do. He's literally a force of nature, and you're watching people just trying, after coming to grips with like what happened to them after the atom bomb, and then saying, "Oh my gosh, we had to deal with a freak act of God in the form of this creature." Like it's just you're watching people trying to gather up the strength to see we lost one battle. This is something that's way bigger than that. Can we even attempt to face that? And the answer is yes. And the director of this movie, I don't want to butcher his name,
Takashi
Takashi
Yamazaki.
Yamazaki.
Hmm.
I don't know where the fuck this man, where he came from, but like y'all need to give him more work. He needs to do more scripts. He needs to direct more movies. He needs to animate whatever he does.
Yeah, he wrote it, directed it, and did some visual effects with it.
Yeah, he's on it.
He's in his bag.
I'm gonna
He
pass
was
off to
feeling
Genos.
it.
I'm pass off to her. I'm done.
No, 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 absolutely. I pretty much like Cabbage said. Again, we're not huge kaiju people. We know what they are. The fandom around it. But what made Godzilla Minus One, outside of Jeremy's glowing review than his awesome tacular that he gave for it, was the fact that they did something that a lot of movies that aren't based off giant radioactive monsters and destruction do. They made us care.
Yeah.
When we were watching this movie, everyone screamed when it needed to be screaming.
Yep.
Everyone laughed when it needed to laugh, and everyone cried when it needed to cry, because it wasn't a cloying situation. There wasn't like, oh, this is so sad. Oh no, it was like you were watching a a group of people, a nation of people who were part of this gigantic war, and they were rebuilding. They were hurt. They lost people. They just were trying to get their lives together. And here comes this giant fucking lizard. And there is the government knew about Godzilla all along, and they were like, okay, the government's not really telling us anything,
No.
and it's not like the government. And I of course, me and my brother are not Japanese. We definitely weren't born in that era, but we're alive in America, and we can imagine America doing kind of the same thing, where it's like, we're not gonna tell people because people would panic and it just be really, really bad. But this motherfucker is coming in and he's gonna be destroying shit. And the focus on the movie for it, and just to run down the film stars real quick, because all of them are aces. All of them I want to give Yamazaki-san all the flowers, like every single flowers I got. But they star Renosuke Kamiki, Minami Hanabe, Yuki Yamada, Minetake Aoki, Hidetaka Yoshika. I'm sorry, Yoshika. I'm sorry in advance. Sakura Ando and Kuranosuke Sakai, or Sake. I'm so sorry. I tried my best. I don't mean to offend, but they all brought their A game.
Yes, it is.
Everyone brought their A game. Like, you were sitting there and you were like, of course, in a lot of Godzilla movies, the ones that we saw, you kind of root for Godzilla. Like, yeah, Godzilla, go and eat those people. Go and stomp on those people. Go and kill, destroy those buildings. Fuck those buildings. But in this movie, you're like, I need someone to stop him.
Yeah, yeah.
Is someone gonna come out there and stop him? Is there a Mothra? Will Mothra appeal real quick? Can you come in here and tell him to chill? Just I need someone to stop him, because this Godzilla is not giving a single fuck. He's like, fuck your house, fuck your buildings, fuck your people, and hands down, I have never seen a more beautiful. I guess they call it the heat ray. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was
Like,
good.
I
That
believe
was
Robot Toho and Robot Communications were like, we're not gonna have a lot of money for this movie, $15 million.
15
We're
million.
putting $15 million in there, but we're gonna put the $15 million where it fucking mattered.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
we're gonna make sure that when you see the destruction of places in Japan from Godzilla, you are devastated.
Yeah.
And I cannot help but feel that, even in my wildest imagination, how that might have felt for the people of Japan when the bombs dropped. Like, it just, and that's what Godzilla technically, his creation is. He is a living embodiment of a nuclear weapon.
Mm-hmm.
He when he comes in, he's not here for games. He's here to destroy your shit and leave radioactive destruction in his wake. And so when you're watching these scenes, again, I'm not going to spoil anything. This is a spoiler-free rave for this film.
Yeah.
You really need to go out there and see it. It just came out Friday. Grab some tickets, go and watch it, cry like we did. But you feel just this impossible, crushing sadness in his wake. It's indescribable how much Yanzaki said, no, I want to show the main character and watch him grow from being a sad person to a person full of anger. And you believe it. You believe everyone's conflicted, sad emotions in this movie. And I have nothing but respect and praise for how they depicted the horrors of war, the ineptitude of the government, the even calling criticism towards how the Japanese government treated its soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not familiar with a lot of post-war Japanese films, and I'm positive that Yamazaki-san is not the only person that touched upon it. But for the characters to be like this, no, they really did a number on us, and you feel that way. Even if you're an American, you can feel the same kind of anger about how our own government treats our soldiers, treats our military men, and men and women service people. What they go through, what kind of shit they have to endure to fight these wars, to fight these battles, and the nonsense that they tell people to make them get in these wars, and then leaving them high and dry. So when you get to the bigger moments in this film, it is so tense. You are sitting there and you're like, is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? Because we don't have a plan C. There's no plan C. Is this gonna work? I hope this works. I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna. Please, is this gonna work? And when things happen, you're like, oh my sweet God, oh my sweet babies, oh my God. Just absolutely a tour de force, I can say. And there's only been 3 movies this year that have made me cry, just big, sad anime tears. Guardians of the Galaxy made me cry. Barbie made me have an existential crisis. And Godzilla 1 just ripped my soul out.
Yeah.
And all these movies were fantastic movies. They were all fantastic in their own right. But Godzilla has that extra layer of coming in this game with something to say and showing off that, America, you don't need to do Godzilla movies. It's okay. You had your chances. We appreciate your chances. I'm sure Toho was like, "This was fine, thank you. No more." We you know what we do? We handle God. We do Kong. We do King Kong. King Kong is ours. We do King Kong, and let Toho and Japan handle Godzilla. And then if we need to do I know there's a trailer for Godzilla and Kong, or Kong about Godzilla, the Empire of Monsters, whatever in there. I haven't even watched that trailer because I automatically think it's gonna be less.
Yeah.
I feel so bad saying, because I like the Godzilla versus Kong movie fine, but in my head I'm like, this is going to be a lesser movie. Where do we go from here? So I'm going to think back to Cabbage. What about you? What are your final thoughts, man?
Yeah, yeah. I'll keep it short. What I mean, there's so many things I love about this movie. There's so much that I want to like discuss, but
Right? We're spoiler
I
free.
I really love it. It doesn't matter what type of media it is. I love it when a piece of media values its audience's time.
Yeah,
The economy of storytelling, of getting to from point A to point Z, and the way they do it is so efficient. It's done with such care. Everything makes sense. I don't have to, there's nothing that's pulled out of the sky. There's no Deus Ex Machina. It's just maybe we can do this. Maybe we should try this. I don't know if I'm ready to do this. You see that in the characters. You see that in their emotions and how they portray. I don't understand Japanese, but
no,
like I was reading like the subtitles and I was looking on the screen and the characters were emoting. They were emoting. They were giving their all to those scenes, and I was like, why am I crying at this scene when this boy is damn near screaming like I mean I do that. I mean I love it when I see like Attack on Titan and you hear Aaron scream like he has like one of the best screams in the business, but like there's so much emotion and they took so much care in this, and they didn't like Jenno said, they didn't waste time saying, well, you know, Godzilla, he was linked to this, and you know he comes from here, and you know maybe we should investigate that, and you know maybe you know there wasn't any like we're not leading this to a sequel. I mean they did drop a little hint possibly to a sequel, but like I didn't leave the theater thinking, oh man, I don't really want to see that sequel. I left the theater like I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this universe, similar to how I felt when I saw Prey that came off on Hulu, where it depicted the Comanches fighting the Predator, and how that was a great surprise, and how they told their story in such an efficient manner. And you can tell when something is done in such a way with that the directors, the people involved, the actors, the production company, they do it with confidence, and you can see that reflected on screen. And that's one thing that I'll say for this movie. I love this movie. This is something I'll watch again. The reason why I think it's the best movie because it has love, it has action, it has horror, it has heart. It's done all that in about 2 hours and what 5 minutes, some odd change. And I didn't have to look at my watch. I didn't have to roll my eyes at any given part. The actress in this movie was outstanding. I wasn't pissed off at her portrayal. Like everyone gave it 110%, and I really hope that people see this movie and give it the credit it deserves. Similar to how people came out with Everywhere All at Once. That movie, this also evokes the same feelings. How when I left that theater seeing that movie, I'm getting the same vibes from this movie. And Genos was right. Like, listen, y'all don't have to worry about America. Y'all don't have to worry about doing another goddamn Godzilla. Give it to Japan. Let them do it. You
yes, I'm
know,
sorry.
legendary pictures.
Go
I know
home.
you guys,
Just
you
go
know,
home.
own all this stuff. You don't need to do anymore. This dude, this crew, these people, they knocked it out of the park, and I really hope you guys see it. And that's all I got.
No, that Cabbage. That's a good way to end it on. I can't. Like I said, we would gush about this more, and maybe we might do a follow up doing a spoiler thing or not. But you know, if not, that's totally fine. We definitely highly recommend that you go see Godzilla Minus One. Please give all the flowers to the cast and crew, studio for just wow. I predicted this is probably going to end up on a lot of people's best of movies in 2023. Um, just because it just hits, it slaps,
Yeah,
it slaps
it's
completely.
good.
It is a great movie. I almost want to buy this movie on DVD.
They still make DVDs?
I don't know. I don't. Well, maybe it might come on streaming soon.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I think so. I want them to have my money. Now, does this make us uber Godzilla fans? No, no, I don't think it's
yeah,
gonna make us Godzilla fans. But I am curious to see about Shin Godzilla.
yeah, yeah. I am
Or
Kevin.
is it Godzilla? I'm sorry. I am curious to see some other Godzilla movies if they have the sort of same impact that we felt for Minus One. I think there's gonna be a lot of people's feelings about this movie. Like, you know what? I heard a lot of things about Godzilla. Shin Godzilla. I think I want to check this out. So that is it. I told you it's gonna be a short one. That is it for our rave on Godzilla Minus One. If you are can get to a new theater that has showings, I definitely recommend going and check it out. And with that, I am signing off. I'm Goose,
And I'm Cabs.
and I guess we'll see you next week for the Sony rant. We'll figure something out. All right. Drink water, stay safe. Bye.